hose feed, and another one could probably come in on the catheter. You got your tank drainage over here. What we did is we used to go up and under nice and neat, but this allows you to fill up 5-gallon buckets, wash your hands. They kind of wanted it back on top, and we bought the ground, so everything was nice, but it is really a lot easier to have this. When you want to fill up your chemical tank, you can just use your pressure reel. Run that right to the front and fill up your tank with that. You can even put a little bit of warm water in there. I won't go too dry. You got 200 foot of high pressure hose on each reel with disconnect. So if you're pulling this off and you still need another 100 feet, you can disconnect it from this reel, connect it to your lower reel, and just keep on going to 400 feet away without having to grab any extra hose. Huh?
What is the maximum length?
These are 200 foot each.
How much?
You can go. You can put 2 onto one gun and go 400 foot off of this machine.
With no pressure ball?
You can have some, but wait till you feel the pressure to begin with. You're not gonna make too much of it, especially if that you're trying to get that last bit of the job done. You know, maybe a back fence of a big yard or something, or a dock area. This is actually called a buck stepper or sludge pump. This little machine right here will pump about 80 to 90 gallons a minute without a pump, just on the end of your gun. So all you got to do is connect the gun. The main thing you got to do is definitely you got to tie this off, or maybe get a wand that you can commit to this. But you can tie it off and keep it straight. We actually pop the little hole because this is a 0-degree tip, and you want it to be straight so it doesn't kink up where it be able to hit that. But all you do on this, kind of awkward, and even on its own wand, I would go rigid, no quick disconnect, because this is kind of hard to handle playing. There's about 3 tapes that might give you a shot to hit right. But typically, what you do is you pull the trigger, water shoots up the hose, so it's like if you're cycling gas out of the car, it creates a suction by the flow. And literally, you can have dirt, mud, like I love this, because in my house we both have this deep slough, and every time it rains, and even my storm drain is in the grass, it's not in the street, so it's always a mess. This would be perfect to pull in there, sucks up the swell, shoot the water right into the grass next to you, and you're good to go. You could actually do demo this by taking like a 55-gallon drum of water, drop this in there, pull the trigger, it'll fill up the other drum in like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some work right there.
So these are cool, little moving parts. You just got to get a little used to grabbing it because everything's pivoted. So it's like I said, it might be better with a more rigid rump on it. And that rope can be.
Is that gas gun different than the regular 4-gallon gun we have?
Well, this one's just high volume, hot water rated, but they're all kind of standardized. But this one does 5,000 psi at 300 degrees. You got the insulated grip on there, which most do.
I was thinking more for this thing here, if you just grab the small gun just for that.
An extra gun? I got them at $14.
Oh, I'm not talking about the money.
You just want to get it, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. Sorry, Mike.
So any one of our guns that we already have.
All your guns will go. Like I said, just make sure you tie off that hook straight back. I got some
What is
that tie.
the gun right on the computer, right? So,
Yeah, this is
like this is all
your beat's
regular
rinsing
gun.
and blowing swells out where it comes up, comes down, comes up, and it's like, man, it takes longer to do a rinse sometimes than that. So this thing, and they're like $89. They're very, very reasonable when it comes to having them for all the trucks or something. Alright, if you rather have electric brake, we do recommend making sure you have the electric brake on the truck so cozy that's by the law. With LED lights, just check all your lighting. Ladder rack, put your ladders up on top of the trailer here. You got signage area. Vacuum out the tank as needed. Anytime, even with a garden hose, you're going to pick up sand and dirt and stuff like that. I had one time where the guy get a big community near my neighborhood, but in Palm Beach County you have to make an appointment for the water meter to be installed. 4 days and they haven't started. So I could do is just come to my house and get a few tanks of water, at least get in there and start the job. And I saw a little debris in the tank. I'm like, how to go from my house to the garden hose, but it can happen. So
Is that in the tank up there, right?
this won't vacuum it all the way down. It can do a lot of the bigger stuff, but I would probably get like a wet vac or even some of these self-care, wet vac if you can't do the tank all the way into the seat. The other thing you don't want to do is knock off the little fitting for the little switch, the kill switch in the front of the tank, and stay away from that. But other than that, keep all these throws down, just keep it clean and maintain it. You got an inlet hose drill obviously over here. We got to automatically fill the tank. We don't put a float valve in the tank because it's restrictive. If you leave it all day and it's running, it's going to be overflowing if you go to lunch or something. So watch to shut your water supply down at that point. Make sure all your tanks are locked before you leave. Set double, triple check. Probably good to get those little plastic things like at Home Depot that hold wire or whatever you want to do in order to get time or Velcro on there also as a backup. You got ball balls on each one. So one of the high pressure hoses are already up on a roof or down the block. Machine shuts off, you have to refill it. You got to do something. Just come back to the back of the machine and release the pressure on this valve here, and that way you can start the engine. One thing about Kohler doesn't even warranty starters on pressure washers because they have back pressure. And they always share the idea of making sure you release the valve. Good idea to find a landscape company if you ever had a starter problem with just 50 shockers or something like that. You take them there, they'll be like, yeah, what do you mean they don't do warranty starters? Because they do warranty for mowers, just not pressure washers. So if you take to a mower shop, this is one time I say go there for that because you might get your warranty on that.
Those hoses are non-marked?
They're non-marked in 6,000 PSI. They have all the quick disconnect. Unfortunately, most of the quick disconnects come as cold water from all the fittings. So you're going to end up probably popping an O-ring out. And
it's just best to take that off if we're going to use the heater?
No. Just leave it. All you got to do is I gave you guys 30 O-rings each. Just use a dental pick or an O-ring tool, pop the old one out, put the new one in, atypical. But always use a Vicon O-ring, a hot water O-ring from now on. And you might as well use them. They work on the cold water machine, so you could just run them.
You never want to operate those without the ball valve. Okay.
The ball valve is good. I mean, what's nice is you got cross cleaners, which is the gutter cleaners. You got the 48-inch surface cleaners. You got roof surface cleaners. You got a need for extension bolt. What's good about the ball valve, you don't have to run back to the machine, especially if you're using a sidewinder on a roof and then you want to do the ridge caps or other little things. That valve just allows you to control everything up on the roof or wherever you're cleaning.
In your chemical intake, you have another hose that was connected to that. You're saying that it's
right. Now the other one is a suction hose. This hose here, glad you guys are watching. Found it. This hose is a clean out line. So when say you're running an acid-based solution through it, you don't want to put chlorine and mix the two together. They can pretty much give you nice chemical exposure for that. You put the switch to here, now it'll suck chemical into this line. So this is great for flushing water. And this will be completely off, right? And the advantage too is say you have just a little sprinkler rust remover you got to do at the house. You got a 5-gallon drum pail of sprinkler rust remover, drop that in there, flush it. The other thing we recommend is, say this had our grandstand degreaser in there or cleaner for a parking garage. That holds probably at least a gallon of chemical, if not more, in that length of hose. What you do is bring that chemical hose here and just go ahead and throw it back, put it back in top here, and then run the water through, and you'll see the chemical, especially if you got a color on there. And then that actually will recycle and save some money on the chemical cost. And actually, then for sure you know it's all flushed out. And if you get a little extra water in there, who cares? I mean, it's already a water-based product. So that's a good way to kind of run and operate it that way. put ratchet straps instead of steel because a lot of times if you have that volatile chemical issue, you can always loosen the straps up, tilt it over to the drain on the other side, flush it out, rinse it out, do what you got to do, or just in general every blue moon, just clean it out as needed, and that way, you know, it makes it a little easier, safer. It's not just for, you know, money. It was really for actual request by clients again, and that we kind of mandate do this. This is an auxiliary plug, so if you did run your auxiliary, there's a white switch here that allows you to turn on and off the lights at night, or whatever you need. So that's your auxiliary.
That's the AC adapter.
Put a plug on the back. That's your burner and your temperature control here. This gets hot and gets hot very, very quickly. At 9 gallons a minute, that's almost 2 5-gallon buckets of water. You'll see when we get across the way, within 20, 30 seconds, you're letting the wand go. It's already hot. So you got to watch the heat. You always want to, when you're done with the job, come out to the machine. What we recommend is turn the thermostat off first, get the fan will still blow for a second, get any soot or smoke out. Then you come down and shut off the burner, and then run it. That's a good time to do your rinse down for at least 2 minutes. This will heat up in 20, 30 seconds, but it takes like 2 minutes to cool down. If you don't do the cool down, it's going to be easy for the boss to find out the next day or 2 days or a week later whenever you fire it back up, because it's going to have black soot and rust come off for like 5 minutes on the coil. So at that point, you know it wasn't a cool shutdown. And what Nina and I mentioned that too is if you're in a brand new nice home and you do the first startup and you got the ball valve hanging there and all of a sudden that crap gets all over the driveway, now you've got some stain you're going to have to try to get rid of, and it's not great. That's why every pressure washer shop has the worst slab of concrete out back. And it's not because we're lazy, it's because of the soot and the rust that comes out from a house. And obviously they're having a reaction in the coil that is not good for the coil. So for a period of time, it's just going to be detrimental for the coil. We recommend every 6 months to every year to have the coil detailed. We do that. And that's like an acid flushing through the system, and that will bring that compression flow. If you go too long, with a horizontal coil, the water doesn't come out the bottom of the coil. So that's where you can start to get your buildup of calcium and rust deposits. And this way, by doing the acid drano, it cleans it right out. Other than that, any questions? You do want to use a Cola oil filter from the factory. We have them or find them in local shop that has the commercial coolers. You do have some breaker switches here and on the burner. Normally don't pop too often, but that if you do have that, you can also check your breakers and see if there's any problems with the breaker switches.
We can run it without the heater. I mean, if
You
we're
can run it all day
rinsing
without the
something.
heat. You can have it at any temperature. You'll find that this has infinitely adjustable where you can run 2 minutes, 4.5 at 3,500. Like I said, treat that like weed whacking.
Right.
It's not going to be, you don't want to do 2 guys and, knock out a parking garage. It's not really that much, it's a lot slower in the long run. Keep an eye on your muffler, keep an eye on the noise that the muffler has in case it does blow out or go out. You want to make sure the muffler's up to date, up to par. Like I said, don't mess with the throttle control on there. Your oil fill is right here on the engine. There's only 2 quarts of oil in the engine. So if it's down, it's an issue. I mean, you won't want to drive your car half full of oil. So basically maintain that. We recommend a 10W30 synthetic oil. Just pamper it. I got these out there that have already hit over 4,300, even 4,600 hours of engine life, and I've had others go 1,400 hours.
You were saying 30 hours, 30. But the 30 hours we should start.
Well, we recommend at least 50. The manufacturer might even say up to 100, but that's a national average and may not be running 8 hours a day. When you're running something 8, 10 hours a day, and then with that kind of heat, these engines typically run at 380 degrees Fahrenheit.
And this will keep our hours? Is that just for
That's
the
your
year,
hour
or is
meter
that
right
for?
there.
They'll tell us, okay,
When the
we got
machine, the
50.
engine's running, it'll keep track of your hour meters right there.
So it'll be, okay, so we're at 50. Tell the guy.
At 50 call, yeah.
Awesome.
And
And then should we reset that, or?
no, it just keeps running.
Okay.
We're keeping tabs.
Yeah.
Good way to find out your billable hours too.
So if you turn the key on, the clock starts running?
No,
The engine has to be running.
engine has to be running. You got your tip holder here, so you can put your spray nozzles on the deck up here. Like I said, you got the dual operator, you can run 2 operators at 4.5. You can run one guy at 70% also. You don't have to have, say you're doing a perimeter wall of a complex, and you just don't want like 9 gallon a minute over your head trying to do the top edge of the wall, but you don't want 4.5 either. You can come up with 6, 7, or 8 gallon a minute. It'll actually automatically compensate for whatever tip you grab. On the same token, if you grab the wrong tip and you want the 9 gallon and you're only getting 6, you're going to be on the job the next 63 hours. You know what I mean? So basically, make sure you read your tips. And the tips,
Smaller tip won't hurt it.
at 4, no, it can run at 4.5, you know, in the middle with one guy if need be. It does run.
That's the big boy.
Like these tips will say 40045. It's 40-degree fan because it's white. So, and the fan angle is measured at 12 inches from the deck, and you'll have a 40-degree like the old-fashioned protractor. That's the most common. Green used to be the most common for little guys because that was an average high pressure good tip, but this has so much power this will do the job. That's your 25-degree angle. And I've got a red tip in my toolbox for you too. Hydro-Tek doesn't want to use the red ones out anymore because they're dangerous.
We don't need it. I usually throw them out.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, one thing with the 9 gallon, like if you had all these leaves and stuff to get out of the way, if you're shooting from like 20 feet away, it does act like a water, you know, air blower, but yeah, it's dangerous in most cases.
The 9 gallon we have it's not 9 gallon force. It's a 9 gallon tip. It's a 0 tip, but it's 8 gallon.
That's fine. You can put an 8 gallon on here too, and you'll have
Just a red tip, but it's just 8 gallon, same thing as yellow. All of them are pretty much
all the
8 gallon.
tips, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you just don't go to Northern Tool and go get, I need a yellow tip for my machine. You
No,
gotta,
yeah, 'cause most of
the yellow
we
tip.
have 40. We have 40, but we also have a bunch of 80s. That's what we're used to doing. So an 80 gallon tip will work just perfectly fine.
Right. Now this one's a 6515. This is a wide fan. It's going to drop the pressure, so if you're doing a vinyl siding, or you want to do something that's a little lighter but a nice wide fan, or you're on a sidewalk and you want to be the guy behind you doing your rinsing, this will be a nice rinse with a nice wide broad pattern without a lot of pressure. And there's another one right in here. This one's a 6508, so this is a high pressure. On the gauge, it's still going to reach 3,500, but the fan's going to be there, so that's another one. You're in a screen enclosure, you got all this dirty water, you don't want to flow it into the pool or do whatever. You can run the high volume, lower pressure, lower pressure, just to kind of get your rinse to blow things out where you want to control things. And once again, almost any tip you grab is going to work on a machine, even over 4.5 gallons. The bigger, like chemical tip, black tip, you can run off this, but it just will run at low pressure. Then you got the turbo. This is the red tip that rotates. Okay, so it's what you do is you kind of on this, it's ceramic inside. If you're going to strip the paint off this wall, you don't shoot it like this, like a seat shoot. You keep pulling the trigger with the gun up, it's going to crack the seat and the nozzle. So what you want to do is always start it in the downward position, the downward angle. Pull the trigger, now you can go up and over your head. You can do whatever you want, but hold the gun. You let the gun go, bring it back on, start it down here. It's just a little quirky thing about this. This is great for removing paint from concrete, splattered concrete, like in construction cleanup, paint removal, graffiti removal, oil stains. It'll take off with this machine. I've seen it take off stripes in a parking lot. It's more of a controlled environment. It is a valuable tool. I kind of look at it as like the impact wrench for a mechanic, but it's really on selective items. And as a matter of fact, I bought some door molding, a little piece of wood. When we go across the way, we'll show what kind of damage it's been doing in the wrong application. So this is something, yeah. should be paid attention to.
And that's automatic, that's a 40 or that's a,
Actually, it's a 0 degrees, so it's a red tip shooting out of there, but it rotates at about a 25
and it
degree
works
fan.
perfectly fine with these. But
Yeah, that
there's
was for
40
one
roller
operator.
section, there's 80 rolls, it's like 55, one's like 45 and the other like 85.
Well, if you want, you can actually run 2 turbo nozzles that you would normally run on your machine on this here.
Right.
Should be, even if you're half tip off, side off, it's not going to be a big deal.
Okay.
But you can run 2 turbos if you need to, or 1 big boy in order to really do
Oh, okay,
what you
got it.
want it to do. But that one's running at full 9 gallon a minute, so that's
So
going to be the most powerful
two
one.
45s on there, work perfectly fine.
Right, right.
on both sides.
So if you have different applications where you need it, you're not going to find a more versatile machine than what this is here. And this one,
Yeah,
you know,
you couldn't throw
does
a
everything.
45 on just a regular 8-gallon machine, it'll probably shut it right off.
It might compensate. I mean, I won't say carte blanche that it won't, but this one definitely is designed to do it all. If we can go and fire this thing up now and see it work.
And you want to grab the
The what?